Good morning and welcome to our February Legislative Eggs and Issues and Community Coffee. What a great turnout this morning. Thank you all for being here. And thank you to Fechner Pump and Supply for hosting us in this beautiful facility and for providing breakfast. I'm going to start with some community announcements and then I'll have you say a couple words if you don't mind, Terry. Wanted to thank everybody for their attendance and all their involvement in our recent Citizens' Choice Awards Gala held on January 23rd. We had a wonderful turnout and we honored some amazing citizens here in Alva, and I know a lot of you took time to fill out the application in the paper and give us some wonderful information that helped us pull that off. Rotary has an announcement. They're going to have the Molly Murphy lunch on Monday, followed by a dinner. Lunch is off the menu from 11 to 2. Dinner is all-you-can-eat catfish. If you've not been to this fun fundraiser, you need to take time and go to that. Tickets are available at McClure's, correct? Also, the Northwest Oklahoma Alliance each year hosts our legislative reception at the Capitol. This year it will be on March 27th from 5 to 7 p.m. It's a reception at the Oklahoma History Center. And does anybody have any other announcements today? Okay. If nobody else has any other announcements, I'll introduce Terry Brandon with Fechner Pump and Supply to give us an update on what's going on.
All right, thank you, Alex.
Sure.
Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Terry Brandon. I am actually based at our Cushing store. I've been with Fechner Pump for about 4 years, retired from the city of Cushing. I'm also an elected official in Cushing today. Also a high school basketball referee, so don't hold that against me.
You like to be liked, don't you?
I'd love to be liked. That's right. Loved by everybody. Loved by everybody. So, hey, we want to say, first of all, thank you for choosing to be here this morning. Representative Newton, it's glad to see you. Mayor Parker, it's good to see you again. But we appreciate you guys being out here on our campus this morning. We like to say that we are one store in 2 locations in Cushing and in Alva. And so if you notice, our industry is kind of cyclic, and one of the things we want to impress upon you this morning, this store has been here since 2006. We continue to expand here. This is a relatively new facility, this side of our property, and we're here to stay. We're not here to go anywhere. We're here to stay. We're committed to Northwest Oklahoma, and we're committed to Alva. And so on behalf of our owner, John Fechner, we want to say thank you for being here. I want to introduce a couple members of our team that are here this morning. Brian Fechner. Brian was here in Alva for about 10 years. He moved to Cushing last year. He's moved to Cushing to assume more of our operational role along with his father. So Brian Fechner, and then Justin Lane, who is a resident of Alva, a graduate of Northwestern. He's our store manager here. So these 2 guys kind of help make things go here at this store. Again, welcome to Fechner Pump and Supply this morning. We're glad that you're here and hope that you enjoy your morning. Please be sure and get some Chick-fil-A. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning on Hot Day to get that here from Enid for you. Something different. Not that we don't believe in supporting the local economy, but it is a little bit something different, and we want you to have a good time here and enjoy yourselves. So thank you for being here.
At this time, it is my honor to introduce our representative, Dr. Carl Newton, to give you a legislative update. And then when we're finished today, we'll have a question and answer session. So please, let's give a warm welcome to Representative Dr. Carl Newton.
Thank you. By the way, I just spoke with Senator Marlatt, and he said he was 10 minutes out. So,
okay.
The second time he's done this here. I think that's a seniority trick. Send the new guy up there so he gets all the out of the way, and then he can bring in actually talk about things. It's indeed a pleasure to be here and speak with you. I can describe the legislature right now is somebody asked me the other day, one word, how do you describe the legislature, being in the legislature? Intense. Intense. I mean, there's never a dull moment, so it's kind of nice. Like I had a chance to, I've seen some of you guys there. I know I got to eat lunch with Northwestern. They brought a group up this week and got to see them for a little bit. And it's nice to have you guys at the Capitol. And I mean, like this week, my phone got blown up over an issue, and so I was going through, and this is the way I look at it. I go through and look and see if they're from our area. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm up there to represent you guys. And so when I hear from you, that I am going to listen to that. So one of the things on the house side, just to let you know, whether my room is room 300 on the 3rd floor, you won't be hard to find. It's the only one. You can walk around the rotundum on the outside of the rotundum. It's the only one that's got an optometric chair and stand in the building. And my office has a window that opens up to the hallway, so I'm pretty much, they look at me from all directions. I'm under close supervision, so that's good. That's good. What has the house done so far? The house is looking at everything. You say, well, what about Mary Fallon's tax plans, right? That's what everybody's here about. And I'll tell you about Mary Fallon's tax plan. I heard it about a millisecond before you did, because I was closer to her, if you heard it on the TV. And that's the only thing I know different than you do. And so we're looking at, there's nothing that we're going to leave off the table this year. We've got to look at everything. Some projections saying with the bonds and all that we have, that we're closer to $1 billion in hold this year versus 870 million. So, you know, all that is, we're looking at every way. One of the things we have got done, there's pressure about the real ID. And so there is a real ID bill that was passed out of the house, off the House floor yesterday, I believe it was. And that gives you an option. You get an option of, you can take the real ID, which will be an ID that will let you get onto federal institutions, federal courthouse, board an airplane, do all that. Or you can choose not to get a real ID, and you'll still have those restrictions in place on your driver, on you. You can still go to those places if you take a passport, but otherwise you will not be able to do those kind of things. What are we going to do? We're going to handicap our state if we don't do it. You know, I mean, it's a federal mandate, and all I can hear is everybody going, I don't like the federal government telling us what to do. Well, we don't. Nobody likes to be told what they do, but we didn't have a choice. And so that's what we did there on that. They're starting to talk about the budget. No offense, when you're up there and everybody's looking at you from every different angle, you're not talking it out in public right now, but we're talking about it. And the cigarette tax, they're talking about it, probably the most publicly known of the taxes. And I have mixed feelings. I mean, if they would pass that tax, and it's a big, huge if, because to pass a tax in the legislature and the House of Representatives, you have to have 75% vote, okay? And they say that the Republicans have a supermajority right now, which we have close to that 75% vote. But we're built up there on conservative principles, conservative standards, and taxing is not one of those. You know, if we have, unless we just have to. So that, I really don't think it's going to pass. But that, can you turn that off for a minute? No.
Everybody says that too.
I just don't, I don't, you know. But I'd like to know what you guys want me to talk about. I mean, I can ramble on, but I want to know what you want to hear about. And then I said, as far as Northwest Oklahoma, oh, by the way, that's one of the things else. You go to freshman orientation. Last week, this week I only think I had about 6 or 8 hours of freshman orientation. The week before that we had 12 hours. And it's all information you're getting from all the different sides. Like oil and gas, we talked to you yesterday for about 3 hours, just trying to get a basis of what all they do and what all they do. By the way, there's nobody out there has any extra money. I've yet to see any agency or any company or anything that has any extra money that they want to give to the state of Oklahoma. But that's aside. So oil and gas, I thought it was an interesting talk that in January of 2016 that the number of earthquakes that were a 3.0 or greater was closer to 250 over that month. And this last January there were 18. So they fully believe that it is the pumping fluids down in there. And the corporation commissioner they're very much more responsive to those kind of things, and so that's been a very great positive thing that's happened. So we're glad to have that. So, all right. Let's see. Real ID we passed. There was a couple of big bills that I've talked to some of the constituents about. What do you want to talk about? Come on, tell me what you want.
What committee assignments are you on?
Pardon?
What committee assignments are you
Oh,
on?
thank you very much. I appreciate that. Committee assignments. I am on one, what they call A and B, appropriations and budget. I control a whole 2% of the budget. I have 12 different agencies under my committee, but we control only 2% of the budgets. That is your DEQ, that's your Oklahoma Water Resources Board, that's your, there's a dam, mining and dams, that's the Department of Agriculture, and oh gosh, I can't name all of them, but you know, there's DEQ, there's just all those agencies, and I mean, the Horse Racing Commission's under that. So we have, but yeah, that's the ones I'm on A and B. And then the ones that are non-budget related, I'm on public safety, which all the gun bills come to. And then I'm also on judiciary and corrections. And so those are the two biggest, hottest ones. And then the other one I am on higher ed and career tech. So those are the three. Higher ed and career tech, I think we met once, had two bills we were supposed to look at, and they pulled one of them, and I think they pulled both of them and canceled the meeting. So I mean, it hadn't been very busy, but judicial and corrections, you get everything. I get all anything that has to do with crime, relation to crime and stuff like that, so I'm on that. So, yeah. What else? Yes.
Well, along that line.
Yes, ma'am.
So, the initiatives by certain legislators to, I guess, try to gut the 780 and 781.
Yes, they did. By the way, that blew my phone up. Literally, I mean, no offense. If I don't respond to you right away, I thought, why is this guy talking to me? I get literally every day 100 emails. And not all of them are related. Like I said, if they're not in my district, sometimes I delete them. No offense. Is that fair enough? Huh? Aren't I here to represent you from my area, right? I mean, there's a form, you'll get a form email and it'll say vote no 2323 is what we're talking about. And it came to our committee, and it did pass out of the committee. I don't think it'll ever come back to law, but the idea was, and part of it's good for schools. I mean, the idea is that they're putting back in those drug-free zones, you know what I mean? As far as that, within 1,000 feet of a church, a school, a playground, you know, those kind of things, and that was taken out. And part of the argument with that is that before it came to the ballot last year, they made sure the people that wanted it to pass took all that out, that there was no language about schools or children or anything like that. And so it did come back out of committee that they were going to reinstate the drug-free zones. Now, I argued with them on the point that, I don't know about you, I talked to the Alva Police Department about this. There is no place now with 1,000 feet in Alva that's not a drug-free zone. So we took some of the teeth out of that. The nice thing about that, and that was one thing I argued about that, I can see and the DA, your district attorney, has always the option on those offenders. We have given them the option in the legislature to give them the option if they want to make it a misdemeanor, if they feel like it's not a habitual crime, if they feel like it's somebody that's not, you know, a problem or a danger to society. They have given the DA the option to fine them with a misdemeanor. So I agree. I'm not, as far as the corrections point, we keep adding people to the corrections, and we've got to do something bad about that. And there are going to be some good bills that are going to come up about that. We're the number one, you probably give the stats better than I can. Number one in women incarcerated as far as percentage of population, and we're number 3 in men, or 4? 3. And so as far as percentage of men and women that we incarcerate, it's high. And we need to figure out some way to be better on that. Bills that I've run, it may seem it's self-serving, but Troy will attest to this, that it does not help me at all, but we are trying to run a bill that would allow patients to be able to refill their eye drop bottles if they've used up to 70% of the solution. And you say, well, that's not a big deal, but most people that having glaucoma and stuff like that are generally elderly, arthritic, they can't see very well anyway, and I don't know how many patients will tell us that, I can't tell how many drops I got in there until I feel it running down my cheek, and so they bathe themselves sometimes, they call it, and eye drops. And so I should have brought one of the bottles, but one of the Zalatan bottles it's only about that tall, and it's only about half full of fluid, so it limits them on, and then they run out of medicine, so they're out for half a week or almost a week. And so, it's just like high blood pressure medicine. What's the most dangerous part of you guys not being off your medication? When you're not on it, because your blood pressure goes back up. And so that's one of the bills that it did come out of committee. We'll go to the Senate side and see what it does there. So other bills that there's just a lot of interesting bills. That's why I want to, what you're interested in. I can talk every day.
One of my concerns is also, and we talked beforehand about
Yeah.
that issue, but House Bill 1681 has it been scheduled for hearing on the floor yet regarding airport?
Yes, it is. Yeah. The 1681 is the one about drones, correct?
No, this one, there is one on drones. This
Oh,
one
okay.
is
1681 is the one. Yes, it did come
annual
out.
inspections.
Yeah, it does not. I don't want to feel this. I was on the House floor and asked him specifically, it does not change any regulations on your airport from what you have right now. It does not increase the regulations that you have now. It just continues the inspection in case the if the federal would quit mandating you to do an inspection on your airport. Did you hear something different?
Inspections won't happen?
But the inspections will continue to happen, but there won't be any mandates. How many of you guys have been by Watonga? By the airport. Seen the big fence they put around there? No, not requiring you to do that. It's not going to change any of the, we're not adding any regulations to your airport that you don't already have.
But
The inspection itself hasn't occurred. Doesn't occur annually? Yes. I'm not putting you on the spot.
But supposedly a state agency right now is doing the inspections, correct?
I think the concern locally, or at least my concern, is it will add additional expense locally to
Yes.
airports for doing inspections that are now done by some other agency.
No, it will not. That's,
But if they're...
the Oklahoma department is doing the inspections right now, from what they're telling me, okay? And there's just going to continue as if the feds would decrease that regulation, not having inspections, what I don't expect they're going to do, that the state would continue to do it. It's just kind of another layer of coverage on that. Okay? So that would be that, but yeah. And that, yes, it did pass, and we'll go to the Senate and look at it. But it does not. And I spoke with the bill author, spoke with other people on there, and it did not change that at all.
And I think the question maybe, did it not change it, but did it cause it to continue if the FAA, federals, decide not to do those
That's all they did,
inspections?
continued the inspection.
And if they continue that inspection, then it may add additional expense locally to where we're already strapped. In a rural community, airports are very viable,
Right.
very, very, very important, and they're already short funded. So if the state is mandating laws, the continuation of laws that the feds are releasing, then there may be additional costs. I think that's the concern.
Is that the concern? But I
Anything
think,
that would cause additional costs for our airport.
I think it's gonna stay on the state's table to have to do that. But I'll double check in that,
The
okay?
question is, why paint the same wall twice?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Well, and the other side is if there is some burden that's relieved, why bring it back why just automatically bring it back without review?
Yeah.
If there's a federal burden that's relieved, why automatically say the state's going to?
I think the author told me that the idea was that the state wanted to make sure we were continuing to do state airports and those smaller airports and make sure we're taking care of that issue. That's what the author talked to me, and I've talked to him about the issue. Is this going to increase the burden on local areas?
Well,
Because that's my thing.
we've got a number of businesses that depend on that airport here in Alva. And,
Yeah.
and it's a huge asset to our community that I hate to see
Yeah.
diminished in any way.
Yeah. Oh, one of the things else I wanted to tell you, we did transfer, how many in here have ever been hit by an uninsured motorist? Huh? Right here. And 1 in 4 people out there are uninsured. I mean, so your odds are pretty good. And so it's a problem that causes you grief and other people grief in this deal. And so we have transferred the House passed a bill to transfer the inspection process over to the Insurance Commission. And the Insurance Commission does not take appropriations from the state. And so they've already got the system in place. It kind of makes sense. It was with the Department of Public Safety, which is your highway patrol and all that. And we're moving over to the Insurance Commission. We're going to try to get that to be more streamlined and more efficient. Right now, the highway patrol pulls up. He's trying to get, are they insured or not? If you don't have the insurance verification, they sometimes have problems verifying that. And the idea is to move forward so that we can make sure that motorist is insured if he's driving down the road. I mean, sorry, that's your requirement as a citizen that you keep insurance on your vehicle.